Other Jaylen, that's Jaylen Waddle, who's now suiting up for the Denver Broncos. He's adding a speed element to this team that they didn't really have. They had Courtland Sutton, but Waddle's just got that different speed. So he's been lining up opposite Patrick Surtain, the all-pro cornerback. Here's what Surtain had to say about going against Waddle in practice. Oh, we don't have the sound. Sorry. It's he adds a whole different dynamic to the offense. Speed, speed, speed.
Well, if you look at what he's done, he drafted Mims. He drafted the kid out of Oregon. They're doing a little what the Bears did with Caleb Williams, which is you might as well pay for Waddle now because you're gonna have to pay for Bo Nix in a couple of years. So let's figure out if our guy can take advantage of it. This is what a lot of these teams don't do. So the bottom line is you're like, okay, we're not paying Bo Nix. Now's the time to go pay for a number one wide receiver. You're not, once Mahomes makes the big money, you got to let Tyreek Hill go. And if you look at, they've won without Tyreek Hill, but the receiving core for the Chiefs has been a mess for 3-4 years. So I think it's the right time to make it. I also think these NFL scouts look, and GMs now look at the draft being weakened by the NIL, so I applaud the move.
Let me ask you, though, some of those numbers that we flashed on the screen for Waddle, are they kind of inflated playing in a Mike McDaniel offense on a Miami team with no defense and they're chasing? Like, okay, so Waddle, since 2021, is in an elite class. 5,000 receiving yards, 13 yards a catch. That's like A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill. He's not we don't think of him in that group, though, do we? Just because he's got big numbers?
Well, I mean, you say, well, he benefits from a good coach. Well, Bo Nix benefits from Sean Payton. I think all offensive players benefit from good coaching. So, no, I think Jaylen Waddle's a one.
Do you?
I don't think he's as good as Justin Jefferson, but I think he's certainly as good as Devontae Smith. He's better than Tyreek Hill. He's a durable guy that with elite speed. And again, Courtland Sutton on the other side, Mims, they have all sorts of playmakers here. You're not going to double Jaylen Waddle with this offense. It's too creative, and there's too many weapons.
It's tough to get a read on Denver because that AFC Championship game was so bad with the backup quarterback. But against Buffalo, they were able to, they scored 34 points, I believe, without Jaylen Waddle. So I don't know what he does. And if we could flash the schedule real quick, remember, this is a brutal start to the season for the Denver Broncos. So you can add all the speed you want. Colin, those first 6 games, if they come out of their 500, that's a huge win. But more likely, it's going to be a 2-4 uphill climb looking at the Chargers and looking at the Chiefs.
I think they'll be perfectly fine. Oh my goodness. I think the word triggered gets thrown around way too casually these days. In 2026, it's used far too loosely. I'll admit it, I've been getting genuinely triggered quite a bit lately. I need to, say some prayers, go meditate, go for a run, something. Because I feel like I'm about to lose my mind. I'm about to completely lose my grip. For so many different reasons. Like, if we just look back at 2023, the last real, full season where Jaylen Waddle was playing for a competitive Miami team, right? Not some dysfunctional disaster where the stats are getting inflated or anything like that. It was a fully functional offense. He was outstanding. 1,000 yards, 14 yards per reception, 4 touchdowns. And 5th in PFF rating. Top in the NFL. And that was based on only 72 receptions as well. And you say, yeah, but Tyreek Hill, he doesn't have Tyreek Hill. All these receivers benefit from other factors. Every single one of them. Whether it's an elite offensive line, an elite play caller, another great wide receiver opposite them, or a great tight end. You don't think Brandon Ayuk, or others on that list, benefited from tight ends too? You have Brandon Ayuk with George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. They all elevated each other. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Devontae has A.J., A.J. has Devontae. Dallas Goedert, the running game. This was 23, so no Saquon or anything, but still a strong run game. Puka had Kupp. Our Kupp. Cooper Kupp had Puka. There's always going to be that mutual benefit, it's a team sport, That's why even your own player, if I can get to it, is saying that Jaylen Waddle adds a whole different dynamic. Yes, so when you add other players, it changes the dynamic. They feed off each other. They work in tandem. That's how it functions. I love how Tyreek Hill doesn't even have a team name there, it just says NFL. I've never seen that before. Before I jump into this and go any further and get even more worked up, Denver Broncos fans, please, please, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you do that, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof. It's not about chasing views, it's not about chasing subscribers. It's about being able to create Denver Broncos content that people genuinely want to watch and discuss. So we can keep having the most unbiased, grounded, honest conversations about the Broncos. Watching the full video makes such a huge difference, and I would really, really appreciate it. It is not difficult to get an accurate read on this team. I told you how it was going to go. It's not hard to get a proper read on the Denver Broncos. They were the #1 team in the AFC. They had home field advantage. They had the first-round bye. They won the division, as you obviously have to if you're going to be the 1 seed. And they took down the Buffalo Bills. Okay? They would have made it to the Super Bowl. They would have made it to the Super Bowl. And it would have been an incredible game. It would have been a whole lot better than whatever the heck we all had to sit through. It's not hard to get a good read. And now this team has improved. And the head coach has conceded, you know what's best for us right now? For me to step back from calling the plays. So therefore, this offense is going to be even better. This team is going to be even better. Sean Payton is going to be an even better coach, a better manager of the franchise as a whole. Bo Nix is going to be a better quarterback. All of these things. The running game is going to be better. The passing game is going to be better. The offense as a whole is going to be better. The play calling is going to be better. The game management is going to be better. The defense should probably be around the same level. I can't say they'll automatically be better because I don't know. I don't feel as strongly on the defensive side of things. But I'm confident that we're not going to watch the season and think, oh my gosh, this defense is terrible. What happened? I don't think that's going to happen. So I feel pretty good about that. And now we're saying most likely they're going to start 2-4. We've got the Chiefs. We've got the Jaguars. We've got the Rams. We've got the 49ers. We've got the Chargers. We've got the Seahawks. Why do the Broncos automatically get the short end of the stick in all those games? Because that's SE. Entirely what you're saying. That's not an easy schedule. By any stretch of the imagination, I'm not saying that. But why do they automatically get the short end of the stick? Number 1. And number 2, especially when you have 2 divisional games in there. Like, we know how divisional games work, especially when you're competitive, you often split them. So even if that were the case, it's still misleading because you get to play the Chargers and Chiefs again. And so when we're looking at a schedule like this and saying, oh, most likely 2-4, you're using statistics and probabilities in that regard. And if that's the case, then you're essentially saying, well, I believe they're going to win against those teams later in the season. So if that's the case, if you're 2-4 in this stretch, then later you'd be 4-2. You see what I'm getting at? So even then, it would be a misleading representation of the quality of this team. That's just the way I look at it. And if you are 2-4, you could say, well, maybe it was a slow start or whatever. But then you're not a Super Bowl contender. You're not as great. You're not achieving the level of greatness that I believe you should be able to, or will be able to, achieve. So sometimes, when again, if we're talking about something like this, the schedule, 2-4, blah blah blah, it's like, if that's the way you feel, then there is no uphill battle, this team is just not great then. And then, what was your conclusion last year? Like, what did you think of them last season? If they were able to beat the Bills in the playoffs, they can't beat the 49ers and the Chiefs in the regular season? That's what I don't understand. And then, are you saying last season was a fluke? They fluked their way into the 1 seed? I don't know about that. I could see you fluking your way into the playoffs, even winning the division, but the 1 seed? It's kind of hard, right? It's kind of hard to fluke your way into the AFC Championship game. I mean, that seems unlikely. So, then, are we saying there's nothing to build off of here? There's no room for growth? And this is what I said, I forget which video, I make so many Broncos videos I can't keep track. But it was just, there should be improvement in coaching and play calling. That's Sean Payton's view, clearly. He's not stepping back if he thinks it's going to be worse, so I'll trust Sean there. He thinks it's going to improve, so okay. And Bo Nix isn't going to improve? It just doesn't add up. So if they were able to accomplish what they have these last couple of years, and now we're saying there are going to be improvements in the two most important areas, quarterback and offensive coaching, coordinating, play calling, and yet the team will somehow struggle more than they have in the last 2 years? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? And I just made that video talking about Bo Nix's popularity compared to Caleb, where Danny was laking about PR or whatever. And it's just, how would people feel about this Broncos team if it was Caleb Williams? You know? And it's just, yeah. Pretty interesting to me. Pretty interesting to me that we single out Jaylen Waddle on this list when, like Jamar Chase, okay, they've had to score a ton of points with Joe Burrow, with that terrible defense, and also benefits from T. Higgins and an elite quarterback, obviously. CD Lamb, are you kidding me? The Cowboys, Dak Prescott is the absolute king of garbage time stats. The absolute king. It was actually Dak who first really introduced me to that concept. It's always been something I've known just from playing, but I never really cared about stats historically when I was younger, they never meant anything to me. I always had friends who were like, so-and-so threw for 3,800 yards, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. Never mattered to me. Never cared. But then it was really when I started caring more about these conversations that I thought, oh, right, look how some of these players actually get these stats. And it's like, are you kidding me? Cowboys, Dak, therefore CD Lamb, the kings of that. The kings of that. Tyreek Hill, again, benefiting from Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the same things you'd say Jaylen Waddle benefited from. And then of course you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Adams. I don't know, man. I could turn this into an Eagles clip. Pretty impressive that A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are having this kind of success playing with each other. You'd think one would be hurt by the other if that were the case, or they're both benefiting from it. Seems like Jalen Hurts is doing a pretty good job of delivering the ball and getting it to them. So, I don't know. Seems pretty impressive. So I just don't know why Jaylen Waddle stands out. And I think it was a really brilliant move. It's not about, oh, why don't we just do this with Jaylen Waddle now because we're not paying Bo Nix? No, we want to improve our offense and we're not going to waste a draft pick on it. We're not going to draft a young player we have to develop. We're ready to win right now. It's less about the money, and of course you can afford it more because of Bo, but it's more about, no, we're ready to win right now. Right now, right now, right now. Let's bring in a ready-made wide receiver who we know we can literally just plug and play. He's going to get it right away. He knows how to play in the NFL. He knows how to play. We don't have to do any of these other games. We don't have to figure anything else out. He knows how to play, let's go. And boom, there you go. It becomes that straightforward. That simple. So, it's exciting. That move to me was one of the biggest moves of the offseason. For sure, no question about it. While I was making all this Bills content talking about DJ Moore, and then it was like, Jaylen Waddle would have been really, really, really nice for the Bills. That would have been really, really ice. Like I think DJ Moore was good, but Jaylen Waddle, that would have been really nice. But of course that wasn't going to happen, division, blah blah blah. But yeah, I think there could be some FOMO. Because that's why I said, when all that happened, I thought, the Ravens could have gotten him. I started going down the list of all the other teams that could have made a move for him. And it's like, you could have gotten him. Wait, you could have. And the Broncos did. The Broncos did. And it was in the silence of the night. Nobody knew. Nobody heard whispers. Nobody saw it coming. It just happened. And that's what great teams do. That's what great teams do, they operate when no one else is looking. It's what the Eagles have done. It's what the Rams have done. It's what the Chiefs have done. In the blink of an eye, the move just happens. And you're just like, whoa. Wait, what? And it's like, yeah. Yeah. And that's why the Giants were so confident, oh, I don't know if anyone's signing Saquon Barkley. And it's like, oh, well, the Eagles did. The Eagles did. And the Cowboys didn't even reach out, right? And it's just like, the good teams make those moves in the night where you're just kind of like, wait, this just happened? What? That's almost how you know it's going to work out. You want to talk about coming up with random graphics or random, these are the 5 teams that haven't made the playoffs since, we're always grouping things together. Put together the moves had happen overnight. When I mean overnight, I mean, I'm being liberal with these words here, just in the darkness of night, where it just kind of happens, right? Without everyone knowing. Everyone knew A.J. Brown to the Patriots, that was pretty choreographed. But the moves that just kind of happen, that really catch people off guard, I'd love to see a list of those types of moves, because it feels like the vast majority of the time, they work out quite well. Just saying. Because the good teams are quiet. They're quiet. They just do business. They just handle their business. Compare that to Jerry Jones. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.